These are my parents, 90 and 96 years old, still living independently in a comfortable home here in the U.S. They retired in their 60s with a pension and some savings. They followed the old rulebook, and it worked for them. But for most of us coming behind them, that rulebook is gone. So what do you do if you don't have a pension, your 401k isn't enough, and your Social Security won't begin to cover your costs in the United States? Well, that's what this video is all about. My parents came up in a different system. They worked for employers who still offered pensions. The message was simple: work hard, stay loyal, and we'll take care of you in retirement. And for their generation, that promise was mostly kept. They're not wealthy, they just had stability, a paid-off home, a steady income, and freedom from the grinding worries about healthcare expenses. But if you're in your 50s or 60s today, chances are that path looks very different. Instead of a pension, you got a 401k and a promise that if you invested perfectly through every market crash, you'd be fine. But life happened. Layoffs, health issues, kids, helping aging parents, and suddenly the math at 60 doesn't look anything like what you were told to expect. Roughly 40% of retired Americans rely on Social Security for 90% of their income. In a country like the United States, that is not enough to get by. I've spent over 40 years in financial services and more than a dozen years actually living in affordable countries across Latin America and Europe. I've seen both the spreadsheets and the street-level reality. As I reach my own retirement age, I've watched friends and family, good, hard-working people, staring at Social Security statements that simply didn't add up. Now, I can't rebuild the pension system, but I realize there might be another lever to pull: where you live. That's why I created Affordable Retirement Abroad, to see whether moving to the right countries could give people like us a retirement that feels as safe and livable as our parents did, even without their pensions. And as I turn 65, I'm hitting the road to visit potential retirement spots that may work for me or for you. I'll be filming on-the-ground reports, walking neighborhoods, and talking to locals and expats to see what it's really like to live in these places. Think of overseas retirement as a kind of geography pension. You may not get a guaranteed check from an old employer, but by choosing the right country, you can lower your monthly expenses enough that Social Security and modest savings feel like a pension again. In many cities abroad, what barely covers rent and utilities in the U.S. can cover housing, groceries, healthcare, and even some travel. And in many places, you'll find modern hospitals and clinics, good doctors, and prescription drug costs that look more like they did in our parents' era than today's U.S. prices. Overseas retirement is not a magic wand that works for everybody. But if you're looking at the numbers and finding that the old retirement promise is, for you, broken, you are not crazy and you are not alone. On this channel, we'll dig into the numbers, healthcare, visas, the day-to-day reality, so that you can make an informed decision, not a desperate one. If this conversation resonates with you, I'd love for you to stick around. Hit that subscribe button, click notifications, and don't miss a single episode as I hit the road at 65 trying to find affordable retirement destinations abroad. If you want a structured way to run your own numbers and compare countries step by step, I built a course called Mastering Affordable Retirement Abroad. It walks through budgets, visas, healthcare, and decision checklists so you're not doing this alone. Learn more on our website at affordableretirementabroad.com/course. Or check out this next YouTube video showing on your screen right now.